Happy to welcome California head coach Mark Fox and student athletes Joel Brown and Lars Thiemann to the stage. Coach, we'll turn it to you for some brief opening remarks, and then we'll go to questions.
I feel like Johnny Carson, if you guys are old enough to remember who that is sitting up here. These guys don't even know who that is. But it's good to be back, to see everybody, and we're excited about our team. Our summer wasn't perfect, but I think we challenged them to continue to grow, and so we improved throughout the offseason. We have a lot of new faces that have, I think, have impacted our team already, and we're excited to get started, and have two terrific representatives today with me, and they've been a pleasure to coach, and I'm excited for their fourth year this year. So we'll open up to questions.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan in the front left.
Mark, what have you learned from the scrimmages you've had so far? And I guess the big question is, where does the scoring come from this year?
Well, we have to be a team. I think that we have essentially 6 new players, 5 that did not play last year, and then 1 that played very little. And I think all 6 will impact our rotation. But our scoring is going to have to be as a group. It's going to have to be by committee. I think that in a rebuild, sometimes you can appear a little one-dimensional because you don't have enough guys who can score. The best teams spread it out, and I think hopefully we'll be a team that can spread our scoring across the lineup.
I'm going to go to the back right.
Hi, Don Shenham, right for California. Kind of a follow-up to that question. You've got a lot of new faces. Last year you were short on rotation, injuries, other factors. How do you see the minutes playing out, the rotation playing out a little bit, and what kind of tempo can we expect this year with that slightly deeper rotation?
Well, I think these guys will echo this. Like, we have a lot more guys, so the competition in practice has been tremendous. I'm not going to say that we're going to play 10 or 11 guys, but in practice we have 10 or 11 guys that are getting after it, and we've had to play obviously a little slower since we came because we didn't have the depth, and the guys that we did have were undersized, and now we have. I think legitimate size at every position. We have depth at every position, so we would like to play a little faster, but as all the ex-coaches know, you can only play as fast as you can play well. And there's days that we play a little faster than we can play well in practice, but it's I think it's a group that can pick up the tempo a little bit, and we're excited to have more guys.
We got a question here in the middle left.
Benjamin Coleman, the Daily Californian. Just for Lars and Joel, you've been here now for 4 years, taking those kind of incremental improvements. What are you aiming for coming into this season to kind of take that next step? And then also, are you welcoming more of a leadership role?
Yeah, for sure. It's been like 4 years with Coach Fox now. We've been working hard, and this is our senior year, me and Joel, Kwani as well, who's been here for 4 years. And now it's our time. Like, I'm very confident in our team. I'm very pleased with how things were going. And obviously, the goal is always to win the NCAA tournament, which is our goal as well.
Yeah, to follow up, I think just with the new guys that we brought in, like Coach has spoke about, it definitely helped our team depth-wise, and what we can do and bring on a daily basis, both offensively and defensively. As in regards to leadership, definitely taking that new step, especially in my 4th year, helping out the younger guys, understand the offense, just kind of understand just the little things and the importance on how to get onto the floor and win games. And so I've definitely taken that upon myself this year to be that guy.
We're going to go to Steve here on the left, and then we'll go to Ben in the back.
Yeah, Mark, if you could talk about the 2 guys next to you. I think it's fair to say that when they got to Cal, they were not finished products. How much better are those 2 gentlemen now than what they were, say, 3.5 years ago?
Well, I would say first, every player needs a great example to learn from. I think that the value of having a great example to learn from is often understated. And the other day we finished practice and we have 2 freshmen, big kids, and I asked them, hey, what are your thoughts? And they said, well, Lars has been terrific in helping show us the way. And I don't know if they necessarily had those examples when they came in, Joel and Lars, but they've continued to open themselves to coaching. They have both changed physically. They're both obviously more mature as people, but their games have improved. And I mean, what'd you make, 48 out of 50 free throws the other day? You know, I mean, they've improved incrementally from year to year, and that's one of the things that's important in any program is to have development. And I think Lars showed last year at the end of the year how much he's improved, and he's a way better player today than he was then. So really proud of their commitment to the process because, you know, it's not an easy road when you go through a rebuild. Somebody has to go through the hard years. And these two guys, along with Kwani, have signed up for that and never wavered in their commitment to continuing to get our program back where we all want it to be.
We're going to go to Ben in the back.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. I got two questions, one for Mark and one for the players. For Mark, just talk about the guys you added in the transfer portal, DeJuan Clayton, Devin Askew, what you think those guys could bring to the table and just kind of how you guys approach the transfer portal this offseason. And then for the players, just kind of talk about your majors and why you chose them. Lars, I understand you're a nutritional science major, which is, I think, the first one I've seen with that major. So just talk about why you chose the majors you did and just balancing being a student athlete at Cal where the academics are so rigorous.
All right. I'm going to start with your question regarding nutrition science. I always liked science classes. I always loved cooking. And I feel like it's very important, especially as an athlete, that you know how to fuel your body. And to get that UC Berkeley education, which is not easy. I've had a lot of rough classes, a lot of days where I was studying from the morning to the evening. But I'm very happy. I still enjoy it. And I think that's some knowledge that I'll be able to, like, transfer to my personal life, to me being an athlete, and obviously, when I finish college here.
For me, with the business, I've always kind of been a math guy, so I've always wanted to stick around numbers. And I understood that being a part of Haas is very special and kind of hard to get into. And so that was a barrier as a student athlete that I wanted to break, especially on the men's basketball team. And I was able to accomplish that. And it's definitely helped me because I've been able to network outside of basketball, outside of people who are student athletes. And so I've actually grown a lot and actually learned a lot in a lot of the classes that I've been in. Like Lars has said, it's been a lot of studying and whatnot, but at Cal it's just great because we have a lot of resources that we're able to use as long as you ask questions. So for me personally, in my 4 years, it hasn't been too hard, as many probably would expect, but I've enjoyed it the whole time since I've been there.
Joel's brilliant, so school's not as hard for him as maybe it would have been for me. And Lars, as a nutrition major, has still not cooked me one thing. He hadn't even brought me a snack, you know. But in regards to our transfers, we did add DeJuan Clayton, who played most of his career at Coppin State. And DeJuan is a very versatile guard who can play a couple different places. He's scored over 1,500 points in college. He has great instincts on the floor and is mature, and I think has been a terrific addition. Devin Askew who, joins us, and Devin is a big guard who can play a couple different places. He has the versatility also. I felt like Devin, we needed to get him in peak physical shape. I think he probably added too much muscle and was playing a little too big, and so we've slimmed him down a little bit. And both of them have joined our team with the attitude that they're joining the team, not that the team is joining them. And it really has created a real harmony within our group. And it is probably the most enjoyable team I've had to coach on a daily basis in well over a decade.
Go back to Steve on the left.
Hey, Mark, if you were playing Davis tonight, who would be your starting five?
Well, I think Lars would like to play a little bit at the 2, which we're not going to let him do that, although he did fire a 3 up yesterday, which looked pretty good. You know, I would tell you this, Steve, like every day it's different. You know, every day it's a little bit different. Like today, Joel was the best point guard on the floor yesterday. I think he was terrific, right? He'd probably start at the 1. Lars would probably start at the 5, although the day before he wouldn't have been. You know, I mean, we have great competition. So I think we would lean towards the guys who have experience. But I'll tell you, it's been a lot of fun to have the balance and lineups where every guy has to show up and fight every day, otherwise he's getting beat out. And that competition has really elevated, I think, the quality of our team. So I'm not trying to dodge your question because I don't know the answer. Like, if we had to play tonight, I'd probably put the most experienced guys out there.
Go back to Ryan, front left.
How have the young guys, Grant and Indy, come along through the preseason?
Well, I don't want to put too much pressure on either one of them, but they've been terrific. I mean, Grant Newell had the best summer of anyone on our team. He was outstanding, and he has a real poise and maturity about him. So he's been off to a good start. He's gotten everyone's attention on the team with how he played. So now it's harder for him because he's getting the focal point of everyone's defensive effort. N.D. Okafor is another guy who's got a lot of athletic ability and talent, and now we're trying to channel that. And Lars has been a great example for those young guys to learn from. And I think that they both will impact our team and be in the rotation.
You can follow up. Go ahead, Ryan.
For Joel and Lars, when you see the preseason poll come out and you guys are picked 11th, how does that strike you? And what's the thing about this team that might surprise people this year? Either a thing or a person that might surprise people?
The preseason rankings, there's nothing new. I mean, like, everyone has their own opinions. The one thing is a lot of people don't know about the guys that we have. And, you know, to Coach's point, we have a lot of depth, versatility. We have a lot more athleticism in my 4 years. This is probably one of, like, the better teams with, you know, with talent and IQ. So, you know, at the end of the day, it just comes down to playing hard each night and playing defense, which is what's going to help us separate from other opponents, is just getting stops on that side of the ball, and the offense of itself will take care.
Yeah, to add on to that, we got the depth this year. We brought in a lot of new great guys, and I feel like the 4-2 helped us really develop a brotherhood and develop the team chemistry that we need. We all have belief that we're gonna win. So just this mindset, this winning mindset, I feel like that's gonna make a big difference for us.
We're gonna go to Don in the back right.
Hi, Coach Fox, you mentioned at the beginning it was a challenging summer for you. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And was that part of the European tour, or anything you learned or enjoyed about that European tour?
No, it's about changing the maturity of a group. I mean, everyone gets up and says, "Oh, we had the most glorious summer ever." Like, I mean, how many times was I pushed you this summer. I mean, it wasn't all just, you know, ice cream and balloons. I mean, we got after it, and I challenged them. Because I think they have ability, but we needed to mature, as some of them as young people, some of them as competitors, but we pushed them, and we pushed them to a place where they were uncomfortable at times, and but that's how you get good, and these guys haven't been afraid of a challenge, and they've really welcomed the expectations that we have for them, because no one rises to low expectations. I mean, so we have high expectations within our locker room, and this summer we held each other to that. I think PJ's had his hand up about 7 times. Can we call on?
I love you, Coach. Go ahead.
PJ Carlesimo, Pac-12 Network. Foxy, what your philosophy with international recruiting? I know you got a couple right there, and I'm also curious, Joel and Lars, you know, what your guys' thoughts were before you were recruited and got the opportunity to come and play. When did you start thinking about maybe I can go to the United States and play basketball?
Well, I think internationally, our institution has a very international flavor, right? And there's a lot of successful international students on our campus. And so these guys, I think, as we recruit them, feel immediately comfortable. A lot of these guys come in with terrific, you know, upbringing in the classroom. And so the transition to, you know, the Berkeley education is challenging for everyone, but a lot of these guys have been so well versed, and as they came up in their home countries, that the transition has been smooth for them. But it's a place where international guys fit, and these guys have been terrific. I think we have 6 international players on our team, and you wouldn't know it if you didn't have the roster in front of you, but you know, the game has become very global. I mean, you helped with the Dream Team years ago. I mean, there's a lot of good players, a lot of places, and And as we rebuilt, guys that could qualify to get in and that were good enough players that would buy into what we were doing, there was certainly an international flavor to some of that.
To answer your question about just like knowing when I was going to come, just kind of growing up as a kid, you know, I've always wanted to play at the highest level collegiately, and that was Division I. And so growing up watching guys like Andrew Wiggins and Jamal Murray kind of take that step of leaving Canada and playing prep school was something I've always followed. And so I was able to do that. And so I knew that coming to America was kind of just the best decision. Obviously, at a young age, it's different having to leave your friends and family, but it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make. And luckily, you know, it's brought me here, and I'm blessed. You know, I'm getting a scholarship at a great institution. I'm playing basketball in a great conference with great players and a great coach. And so for me, it's just always been, you know, a dream. And so now I'm just kind of living it right now in the moment.
Yeah, my journey has been a little different because I've never really been to the U.S. before I came to college, before my visit actually. So NCAA wasn't really on my radar for a lot of my youth playing basketball, and I made a big step in the last year before I came to college. So that was really when, yeah, I got recruited by these coaches. I took the visit. I really loved it. And, you know, getting a Berkeley degree here and playing in the Pac-12, having this great competition is a no-brainer for me, and I've been really enjoying it.